Welcome, curious souls who sail the glittery yet tempestuous sea of Turkish entertainment. You've dropped anchor at Turkish series stars, the harbor where rumors turn into stories you can feel and secrets learn how to speak. While the world hurrahed the new year with fireworks and countdowns, a quiet storm was gathering far from the noise, a winter tale threading itself through Europe's lantern-lit streets. And at the heart of it all, two names that once sparked a nationwide craze and now, perhaps, are writing a new chapter in silence, Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu. Before we untangle this web of hints and half-lights, your presence matters to our family here at Turkish Series Stars. Hit subscribe, tap the bell so you never miss a beat, and if you want to stand closer to the backstage and support the work that keeps us searching, press the join button. Your support is the pulse behind every story we chase. For days, the rumor mill hummed softly about a possible getaway, a joint escape beyond Turkey's borders. At first, it felt like one of those flimsy narratives that melt under daylight, two separate lives crossing paths merely because New Year's brings everyone to the same handful of postcard cities. But then something happened that changed the temperature of the conversation. A detail emerged, initially murmured in guarded circles, and suddenly the whispers grew teeth. The shock centered on Barış. Insiders insist his private life has shifted in a major way. The word is that a long and steady bond, one carefully shielded from the loudest rooms, has come to an end. Not abruptly, not as a storm that tears roofs from houses, but as a tide that slowly recedes, leaving behind a quiet, aching shoreline. This, they say, was months in the making. Too many unsaid words, too many tired misunderstandings, and the slow realization that forever sometimes drifts into not anymore. And then, almost without pause, the itinerary appears. The timing, sources insist, was not careless or accidental. They speak of decisions mapped like choreography, a plan that kept its own rhythm beneath the noise. Soon after this private rupture, Barış left the country, and every breadcrumb suggests he followed the same trail as Elçin. The destination? A European capital that glows like an ember through December, a place where holiday songs hang in the air and strangers blur into safety. A city that can hide 1,000 stories in the simple act of walking. This is where the first chapter took shape. Clues surfaced not as declarations, but as delicate threads laid across social media. There were no tags, no shared frames, not a single photo that said, "Here we are." Their language was subtraction. And yet the cues multiplied for anyone paying close attention. Stills filtered in amber hues that matched the burnished streetlights of the same neighborhood. A cafe mural that looked achingly familiar from two angles. Reflections in glass that stitched together the same window scene. Details that felt like mirror images, the grain of a wooden bar, a brass lamp arching like a crescent, the same rain-polished cobbles underfoot. Coincidences? Maybe. But there were too many specifics for the imagination to shrug. The question took root: was this a careful dance of discretion, or simply the universe tossing them into the same frame like confetti? Those who claim to know more go further still. They whisper that the hotel was the same, that elevators and hallways, not red carpets, bore witness to what was quietly unfolding. Friends of Turkish series stars, what does your instinct say? Are we reading tea leaves, or deciphering a message left on purpose? Drop your theories in the comments, and if you want more of this close-up view, remember the join button is waiting. What sharpens this story is not only what is happening now, but what resides in the collective memory. Barış and Elçin did not meet for the first time under foreign skies. They were once the nation's favorite spark. Their on-screen electricity turned into a cultural touchstone, a love story that leaped from episode to episode until it felt engraved in Sunday evenings and lunchtime conversations alike. And then, they chose distance. They didn't rush into joint interviews or chase after a reunion project. Instead, they followed distinct paths, each protecting the other's space as though a line had been drawn and both had agreed not to cross it. That very line makes today's silence thunder. Their names have long lived side by side on fans' lips, but not like this, not with such precise timing and such deliberate understatements. Are we witnessing the end of one era dovetailing into the quiet beginning of another? Is this the soft prelude to a story many people never stopped carrying in their hearts? Meanwhile, Elçin played her part with poise. She shared only herself. Winter-wrapped smiles, coffee cups warming her hands in snug little corners, a window looking out onto slick stone streets where the drizzle painted everything lacquer bright. The energy was light and untangled. It felt like contentment. It felt like ease. That serenity caught the eye of everyone watching, and in the spaces between her words, people began to write their own stories. For his part, Barış moved as carefully as he breathed. He posted nightscapes and spare captions, images with a hush over them, as if each picture was taking a moment to listen before speaking. No theatrics. No grand declarations. Just a mood that felt uncluttered, slightly wistful, and somehow hopeful. That restraint only solidified the sense that something was, indeed, changing. Observers close to his circle say that after the breakup, he withdrew from crowded rooms and late-night chatter. He talked less, he listened more. And then, as this journey went on, something shifted. A friend confided, off the record, that he'd begun to use the word "start again," not as a curated narrative for followers, but as a promise to himself, quiet, private, and resolute. Of course, the internet turned into a detective's den. Fans examined everything like forensic analysts. The napkin's texture, the wood's patina, the shape of a lampshade, nothing escaped. Screenshots were set side by side. Red circles appeared over doorframes and light fixtures. If romance is a mystery, then the public became its co-authors, connecting dots into images that might be imagined or might be astonishingly real. The most compelling rumor floats around the night itself, the scene between one year and the next. Instead of joining the flood of countdowns in a main square, the story goes, they chose a smaller celebration. A table by candlelight. Hands near, not touching. Through the window, roofs rising and falling like sheet music while colors bloomed above the skyline. Nothing flashy. Nothing that could be packaged into a headline and pinned to a notice board. Just enough space for feeling to move without performance. With holidays waning, eyes turned homeward, to the arrivals hall in Istanbul. Would they slip through at different hours, repeating their choreography of absence on familiar ground? Or would the lens finally catch them in one shared frame, daylight revealing what moonlight had guarded? Every blink of the automatic doors felt like a drumroll. One last whisper before we pause, several voices swear the trip stretched longer than planned, one more day and then another, as if no one wanted to be the first to say it was over. They crossed the same river more than once. They tried new bridges. They returned to a cafe where, by the second visit, the server offered a smile that said, "So, you again." If anonymity was the wish, they mastered it. If clarity was the goal, maybe they found that too, nestled in the hush between clinks of porcelain and the soft hum of a city catching its breath. Here at Turkish series stars, what stays with us is the shape of their quiet. It reminds us that the most decisive moments often need gentleness, and that the truth sometimes wears a cloak of discretion until it is strong enough to stand without it. For those who still carry the memory of an on-screen romance that felt like lightning bottled in a frame, this may feel like a chance to exhale after holding your breath for years. Do you believe in a second chance? Do you think the year ahead could give us a scene-stealing twist? The one fans have sketched in their dreams since that fabled finale? Tell us in the comments. Your voice threads the community together, and every perspective adds color. If you felt the depth of this journey through lantern-lit boulevards and hushed hotel corridors, like and share this video so the conversation grows. And if you want to stand with us as we keep watching the smallest signals and reading the gentlest signs, press join. Your support helps us listen longer, look closer, and bring you stories worth feeling. We'll be here, steady as ever, waiting for their next move, be it a glance captured on a phone camera or the absence that says more than a statement ever could. Whether they walk apart out of the terminal or find themselves drifting toward the same patch of daylight, we'll be ready to read the moment as it arrives. Until then, thank you for traveling with Turkish series stars across the winter streets of Europe and the quiet places where hearts make decisions. See you in the next video, where the city may be different, the clues may be new, but the pulse, yours and ours, will be the same.